serial killer.
Do you know what the initials BTK stand for?
Bind, torture, and kill.
All his murders. Each one was another nightmare.
The body was nude and police say badly decomposed.
My mother died at the hands of one of the most disgusting social malignancies that's ever been introduced into this world.
I feel their anguish that they're going through as they're dying. To this day, I feel it.
What the hell did I do to get punished by taking my mama that way?
He was a man who was actually a monster with no soul.
You will find a homicide.
The city was really on edge. Those kind of things didn't happen here in the middle of the United States.
You're dealing with a person who is perverted, a person that is sick. That person is going to kill again.
And good evening. We have exclusive details. A new communication that could be from the serial killer BTK.
He could not allow himself to be forgotten.
He was taunting every female out there. This could be you.
If you had asked me before 2005, I would have told you my life was pretty much the American dream with like these great parents and this great house. And then I learned that my dad was a sexual sadistic psychopath and that every day of my life was a
people in the YouTube world. Today, we're going to introduce everybody to Dennis Rader, aka the BTK Killer. I'm sure everybody already read about him, but we're just going to get a little deeper into it, all right? So, be live. Give us a little review of exactly who the BTK Killer was. Take it away, brother.
Dennis Rader, aka the BTK Killer, was a narcissistic person with a split personality. Hailing from Wichita, Kansas, he is responsible for the murder of 10 people, including 2 children. Rader was a family man and a father of 2. He was an active church member and a Boy Scout leader. Rader also held down a steady job and spent a few years in the armed services. From the outside, it would seem as if Rader was a model citizen. However, he possessed a dark side, a side in which he had sadistic sexual fantasies in which he would act upon. From 1974 to 1991, Rader would commit horrific crimes and become one of the most prolific killers of all times. He is credited with killing 10 people, and for his efforts, he would give himself the name BTK, which stood for bind, torture, and kill. Rader's MO was to break into a home or convince the homeowner of allowing him access to the home. Once inside of the home, he'd explain to them how he had a sexual problem, a problem in which they could help. And after talking them into the idea, he'd often take their lives. Rader would commit these crimes for years after taunting police officers. After a 15-year hiatus, the newspaper The Wichita Eagle would publish an article which would explain Rader's first crimes. At the end of the article, the author stated that they believed that the BTK's reign of terror was finally over. The statement infuriated Rader. He felt as if the world was forgetting about him. He would soon resume his correspondence with police officers. Police, hoping to finally catch the boogeyman, would then engage Rader in a cat-and-mouse game which ended in the capture of Rader. Ironically, it was a combination of luck and smarts which enabled Rader to evade police for so long, but ultimately it was his ego and lack of intelligence which enabled police officers to track him down. In March 2004, the Wichita Eagle received a letter from someone using the return address Bill Thomas Kilman. The author of the letter claimed that he had murdered Vicky Wagerly on September 16, 1986. The enclosed photographs of the crime scene a photocopy of a driver's license, which had been stolen at the time of the crime. Before this, it had not been definitively established that Waverly was killed by BTK. DNA collected from under Waverly's fingernails provided evidence with previously unknown evidence. Dennis sealed his own fate when, in January 2005, Rader attempted to leave a cereal box in the bed of a pickup truck at a Home Depot in Wichita, but the box was discarded by the truck's owner. It was later retrieved from the trash after Rader asked what had become of it in a later message. Surveillance tape of the parking lot from that date revealed a distant figure driving a black Jeep Cherokee, leaving the box in a pickup truck. In February, more postcards were sent to KEKE, and another cereal box left at a rural location was found to contain another barn doll, apparently meant to symbolize the murder of 11-year-old Josephine Otero. In his letter to police, Rader asked if his writings, if put on a floppy disk, could be traced or not. The police answered his question in a newspaper ad posted in the Wichita Eagle, saying it would be safe to use the disk. On February 16, 2005, Rader sent a purple 1.44 megabit Memorex floppy disk to Fox TV, affiliate of KSAS TV in Wichita. Also enclosed were a letter, a gold-colored necklace with a large medallion, and a photocopy of the cover of 1989 novel about a serial killer, Rules of Play. Police found metadata embedded in the deleted Microsoft Word document, which was unknown to Rader, still stored on the floppy disk. The metadata contained the words Christ Lutheran Church, and the document was marked as last modified by Dennis. An internet search determined that Dennis Rader was the president of the church council. From the Home Depot incident, the police also knew BTK owned a black Jeep Cherokee. When investigators drove by Rader's house, he noticed a black Jeep Cherokee parked outside. Now back to the mass YouTuber.
Be live, and all I can say is wow. You guys realize what we just witnessed or what B Live just said? He said that the case was considered a cold case, but the Wichita Eagle wrote an article speaking about the BTK, and at the end of the article, it said that they think that he won't return and that his reign is over. And basically, BTK didn't like the fact that they said that about him, so he took it upon himself to start corresponding with the police officers again. And it's crazy because though that was one of the main pieces of evidence to help bring him down. So the person that he sent the ID for, and also the person that he claimed that he killed, at the time they didn't attribute that to him. They had a little bit of suspicion that he did it, but once he told them that he did do it, they were able to go back and get the DNA of that was under her fingernails and basically tie it to Dennis Rader. But again, it was a cold case file. So all Dennis had to do was keep his mouth shut. But his egotistical ways made him come out and actually say something. And that was one of the things that led to his actual capture. And another situation that directly led to his capture is when he asked the police officers if they could get data off of a floppy disk. Now, you know, when they did do this, and when he finally faced the detective, he asked him why he lied. But the question alone shows you that something wasn't right in Dennis Rader's head. You have a guy that took lives of 10 people. He held the whole neighborhood hostage, struck fear in everyone. And he thinks that it's fair playground, or it's fair play when he asks a cop a question like that. There's no fair play. Once you murder somebody, all rules go out the window, and there's absolutely no rules to the game. And Dennis Rader looked like he felt slighted by the cop telling the truth, you know? But all he had to do was keep his mouth shut and he would have got away with it. But he was just too egotistical. The guy gave himself his own name. The guy also would take figurines, little Barbie dolls, bind them up, put them next to cereal boxes, and then call the cops and tell them where it is. It's crazy. He also did that at a Home Depot where he took a cereal box and put it in somebody's truck. And he had the nerves to ask the police officers what happened with that, or what happened with the cereal box. So what they did was they went to the Home Depot, they looked at the surveillance cameras, and they was actually able to figure out that he drove a Jeep Cherokee. So people, he sent them information that tied him to a murder that they didn't even know, or they didn't have any evidence to tie him to, except for the DNA, but they didn't know it was his DNA. So now this guy taking blame for that one. He admit that he did that, and he calls them and basically tell them how they could get him. All right? He drops the cereal box inside of a Home Depot. They went and looked at the surveillance camera, and they saw his car, so they put that dot together. And then last but not least, with the floppy disk, he sent them a floppy disk, and they were able to find a Word document that has been created by a guy named Dennis. And they also found out that the floppy disk was used at the church. So, of course, what they did was drive by the church, they seen the Cherokee over there, and they got his daughter's DNA from a pap smear, and they linked them to the case. So all he had to do was just be quiet, and he got away with it. But his ego got in the way. And honestly, I'm happy that his ego got in the way. I'm so happy that his ego got in the way, because I just read an article that he was planning on taking his 11th victim, and he called this victim a retirement party, something like that. So to celebrate his retirement, he was going to kill one more person, and that would have made it the 11th victim. And it's crazy because that 11th victim was someone that he worked with, and she felt as if someone was taunting her, calling her, hanging up, taking unscrewing the light on her porch. It was just 666 stuff, man. And I think we all could sit down and lay at night and not worry about someone like the BTK messing with us. You feel me? And that's two down. That's two down. The original Night Stalker, East Area Rapist is down, and BTK Killer is down. And he's still going at it, you know what I mean? He wrote a letter to a website, and now I already knew about Factor X, but now he's saying there's another demon inside of him named Battle, and those are the things that made him do it. You know, something's up with this cat, man, you know, and I'm not going to spend too much time dwelling on him, because, you know, that craziness could rub off, man. I don't even want to be no parts around it, all right? But this is the Mass YouTuber. Thank y'all for watching. And we dropping videos weekly, you dig? We're dropping videos weekly. So that means I'm working on a DNA. One on DNA. This is an excellent book on DNA right here. We're going to explain how DNA can be used to basically solve crimes. And I'm doubling back on that Leaving Neverland, because I hear the Michael Jackson estate is suing the makers of the film. And I was just grazing through a little bit of the information, and the information does look shaky, but you know I gotta give it the full time and do my full investigation on that. But that is something that you should be expecting from me. I'm also getting into the Grim Sleeper, all right? And just reading that Grim Sleeper book and reading what's going on in Los Angeles at the time, oh man, it's crazy, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. But these are the type of books I like, and if you enjoy those type of books with me in this topic, please subscribe, hit that like button. You know, I am the Mass YouTuber, and I'm out here. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and that is this. There's plenty of YouTubers. There are plenty of Mass YouTubers, but there's only one Mass YouTuber from Long Island, and that is moi.